you prepare, you spend all this time preparing, and that's really the journey, right? I mean, that's like the meat of it,
Yeah.
but the race itself is like the reward. You get to go out and see this awesome place and you meet people. And when you're running an ultra, you're not running full bore. So you can have conversations with people, you can meet people, you get to hear their stories.
Running with Maverick and Wolfman. Hey guys, we're back for another great episode. Here we go. Maverick here.
Wolfman here. Don't forget to find us on YouTube, subscribe, make sure you follow us, let all your friends know you're following us. We can also be found on Facebook, Instagram, X, and if you want to run the Camptown Races or the Wyoming Valley Run, you still have some time to sign up. Maybe not by the time this is released, but you do now. Those links will be in the description. Tonight we got a special guest for you. She's a physical therapist. She is RRCA certified coach. She loves to be outdoors, running, riding her dirt bike, hiking. She's a big fan of doing ultra races. My friend, Deb.
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey.
Hi.
Did you hear those shenanigans backstage?
I could.
Backstage.
Yes.
Fun stuff. Well, thanks for coming on, Deb.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Go ahead, Maverick.
Wolfman gave a little intro there. He didn't prep me on this at all, though. I had no idea who the guest was.
Okay, I don't ride dirt bikes, by the way.
No, not dirt bikes. Did I say dirt bikes?
You did. You said dirt bikes.
Oh, my bad. I meant not dirt bikes. Mountain
Nothing
bikes.
with a motor.
That's what they're called. Mountain bikes.
Bikes
My
without
bad.
motor.
No motor.
Keep my day job.
So ultras.
Yeah.
And what's the farthest you ever run?
100.
100 miles?
Yes.
That's
it's
a lot of miles.
Like 103.9. So.
Wow.
An extra 5K plus there.
That's right.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow. When was that?
2016.
How many miles was your longest run prior to that?
It was about 5 hours on the trail, so probably like 25 miles.
Wow.
It wasn't anything crazy, but I would do like a long run and then the next day do another long trail run. So
how does the 100-miler work? Like, do people stop and like sleep and stuff?
Not usually for 100-mile. Some of the really long stuff, like the 200s, 250s, they will have sleep stations, and you can stop and sleep for a couple hours or whatever. But the 100-mile, no, it's usually you just go straight through. So you go, go from aid station to aid station basically, and eat food, and
like all day.
Yeah.
Yeah. How long does that take?
It's usually about a day, 25 hours, 24 hours to 30 hours. Some people can do it a lot faster, but I'm not in that realm of, you know, I'm not that fast.
Is that what you gravitate towards though, or do you have like a better shorter race?
I prefer like the 100K distance. That's my favorite distance.
That's so short, isn't it? That's just
I, you know, but it's like we joke around about it, my husband and I, and he's like, you start in the morning, but you know that you're going to be done before like the next morning. So you're going to be done sometime that night, which
right.
it's always the hardest part is always through the night. And then once the sun comes up, you're like, yeah, the sun's up. This is great. I love running, But during the night, you're like, this is the worst. And so,
It's kind of like a red eye. It's not
yeah,
done, but it was horrible.
yeah, right. So,
So good, but so bad.
yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Okay, so suddenly my 10 mile doesn't look so bad. I feel much better. Thank you for coming on the show. I don't run 10 miles. I mean, nothing with the sun. There's no darkness. I don't need a sleeping bag. Nothing. That's
Right. You don't
good.
need a headlamp. You don't need any of that stuff. You don't have to wear like a 8-pound pack. It's great.
I'm gonna make Wolfman wear an 8-pound pack just to see it.
I was gonna say I was gonna wear all that stuff just to psych him out. Like, you're not ready for this? Did I say 10 miles? I meant 1,000 miles.
I think if I was in your position, Wolfman, I would probably like carry like a 5-pound weight just to mess with me.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
This is so easy for me.
Oh man, look what I can do. So,
All right.
Deb. Oh, go ahead, man.
Now you go ahead.
I feel like I should probably know this, but I don't. What is RRCA?
Road Runners Club of America.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice.
Which is kind of ironic because I don't really like to run on the road. So.
Oh, that is ironic. I didn't even think about that. Now, how does one get certified in that?
Well, since COVID, they do a lot of their stuff online. You used to have to go to an in-person weekend seminar and then take a test at the end or whatever. But it kind of opened the door for me because they started doing the courses. You could do them online. And, I just didn't want to travel somewhere away from the family and, for a whole weekend like that. So, I did it online, and then you have to submit, first aid and CPR and all that kind of good stuff. And, but it's just, I did it more for myself so that I could feel like I understood how to program my own runs and, progress speed work and things like that. And so it's kind of nice because I've helped a few friends train for different things, but I don't do anything with it like a business or anything. But it's nice to have the references and the knowledge to be like, oh, well, if you want to get faster in your 5K or your 10K or your marathon, you might want to try XYZ. So
what if you want to get faster in your 10 mile that you haven't run in like maybe 17 years?
So maybe you should run a 10 miler a little bit more often than that. I don't know.
What about if you don't have that kind of time? Like you're really like close to the race. What can I do?
Oh, yeah. So just don't run. And then you won't get hurt before the race and you can just go out there and wing it.
Okay.
I'll be there for you, buddy.
Yeah.
When is your race?
Soon. Like really soon.
Like how soon?
2 weeks,
like,
I think.
Not even.
Oh, cool.
I ran a 10K the other day, so.
Like, you're fine.
Yeah, 10K, 10 miles, same thing.
It has a 10 in there, so I felt pretty good about that.
It's all in your head.
Yeah.
That's one of my goals is like do not wait decades before running another 10 miler. Try to do that regularly.
We got to do it yearly now, man.
Well, no, but I'm like in like preparation. Like I want to go run 10 miles regularly, not just like once every 20 years or so.
Yeah, that's probably a good idea.
I've run a lot of 5Ks, just not 10 milers. So this should be good. It's the first one.
Oh, well, that's fun.
Hey, it's going to be a PR.
Absolutely.
There you go.
That's how you have to look at it.
Yeah. That's it. So Deb, let me just ask you, because I think you're up in the area somewhere where Wolfman lives, right? Up that way.
Yes.
Okay. So do you eat like egg and cheese, sausage, croissant, muffin, whatever it is that Wolfman eats before running long distances? Is that a thing where you're from?
Well, I'm not from here, but I would say I eat a lot of things that probably a lot of people would not eat before they run.
For example,
For example, when I was training for my last race, I was doing a long run here. We have a trail on our property, and I was running loops on our trail, and my husband went to the donut shop and bought a dozen donuts. And I stopped in the middle of my run and had a donut. And then went back out and finished.
That's great. We were talking about that. That came up in one of the last episodes.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Before, what was it? Before, during after, never game.
Never.
During. So what kind of donut was it?
It was a glazed sour cream donut.
Oh boy, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does.
It's really good.
Maybe that's what we need, Wolfman. Bring some of them to the race.
I probably could. I think I'll pass by there, but I don't know if they'll be open that early.
Have a donut a mile?
Yeah. There you go.
It sounds good until you do it, I think.
And then one before and one after, and then you've got a whole dozen.
Yeah, I was just saying we got to do 2 more miles or something for the dozen, but yeah.
I don't think I've ever eaten that many donuts in a day.
No lie. Tangent time. I just watched a video. I don't know. I just watched a video of a guy who ran 20 miles and stopped at 20 Taco Bells, and he had to get one item at every Taco Bell.
No. So that's my never. No. No
That's
Taco
terrible.
Bell.
I don't. That just sounds wrong, man.
Yeah.
That's a lot of Taco Bell. That'd be a decent amount of money too.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, we used to do a Taco Bell Tuesday at one place I worked, and it was pretty impressive how much food you could get for the price you paid.
Yeah,
really?
But then you were hungry in an hour.
There's not any food.
Oh yeah,
in
yeah.
Faux food.
I always found that to be, like you'd eat so much of it, and then you'd just be like, I feel like I need to go eat again. I don't get it.
Fun.
Okay, so Taco Bell, we got donuts covered. Anything else?
To eat while I run?
Like a weird, like an unusual.
Oh, I've eaten so many weird things during ultras, like quesadillas. So, I wear a pack when I run. And at my last race, my daughter, who's 11, she was like emptying out my pockets at the aid stations and stuff. And she's like, "Mom, is that a peanut butter and jelly sandwich in your pocket?" And I was like, "Yeah, I thought I wanted it." And then I decided I didn't, but I didn't want to like throw it on the ground. So she's like, "Oh, that's so gross." And then the next aid station, she's like, "Mom, is that a quesadilla in your pocket?" Yeah, I thought I wanted it, but I didn't really. So
that's funny.
That's how it goes, though.
Yeah.
You just like before our meets in college, I used to eat either like a banana or a peanut butter toast or like a Pop-Tart, and you just didn't know which one it was going to be.
Yeah. I know. You got to wait and see what hits you.
That's it.
Now,
am I going to need extra calories for this 10 miler?
How long is it going to take you?
I don't know. 24 hours.
Yeah, probably.
I would think not, but I'll bring you some goose just in case.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like I don't think I ever had goo on a run, like actually legitimately on a run.
No. I
No.
busted one on my hand over the weekend. That was fun.
Ugh.
That's
It was
terrible.
all in my beard, all
Oh.
over my hand. I was like, great. This is why people think runners mess themselves on runs. Because of course it was the
The
chocolate one.
chocolate.
Oh, that's just. Don't bring me chocolate.
You're not gonna like any of mine. I'll bring you the vanilla one. Mine, I got like chocolate, caramel, vanilla, espresso, the coffee ones.
Yeah. No, I'm not used to eating on the run, so I'm hoping that I'll be all right without it.
Yeah,
Should
I
be
think
all
you'll be
right.
okay.
I mean, if you did 100 miles in 24 hours, I mean,
Well, it took me longer than that, but
25 hours.
20. It was 29.
29. That sounds great, though. I mean, 100 miles is a lot of miles.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Do people walk it too? Like, are there
Oh yeah,
walkers?
like I mean, it was a mountain, so when you're going uphill, you hike up, run the
Yeah.
flats, run the downs, hike the ups.
Where was
So
it
I
at?
mean, that was in North Georgia when we lived up
Okay.
there or down there from here, but um,
I knew where
it,
you meant.
yeah. So I mean, it just depends on the terrain, but most of the races that I like to do have a lot of up and down. So you hike the ups, you run the flats, run the downs. But that's why there's so much disparity in the finishing times too from race to race, is because one race might have 10,000 feet of climbing and one might have 30. So,
Mm.
you just don't know.
Yeah.
And
That's wild.
some people are really fast regardless,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which I am not. So,
Deb, what's your resting heart rate?
48.
You got the Wolfman problem.
Yep.
Doc, I'm fine. Don't do anything. My
Oh,
heart's fine.
yeah. Please.
That's always fun.
It's still beating, right? I'm good then. All right.
Now, Deb, I think you've done the pickle juice thing, haven't you? On these
Oh, yeah.
runs.
Pickle juice is great.
See?
What
The
kind is
pickle
it?
thing.
What
It's
kind of pickle
dill.
juice?
Dill. You got
Dill.
to have the vinegar.
Ah,
Yeah.
Dill.
we should bring you some pickle juice on this 10 miler.
Yeah.
I'll try it.
Pickles. I mean, even just pickles are
Why
great.
Oh,
not?
just the pickle even. Okay.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'm not a big shoot the juice kind of person, but if I get to an aid station and they have pickles, I'm eating pickles.
Yeah. Sweet.
Let's do that. I'll get an Italian hoagie too. Why
Oh,
not?
yeah. Sure.
Run it through the garden. Put everything on it.
So, what got you into running, Deb?
Um,
And
my
beyond at this
sister,
point.
initially when I was
Yeah.
really young, my sister was running and she's 7 years older than me. So at the time I thought that was really cool. And my parents would do 5Ks and 5 milers and everything like that. So, you know, I would run with them. And then when I got into high school, I ran track and cross country and I rode in college, but we ran a lot for that. So, you know, I just always enjoyed it. So I always kind of came back to it. And then
Yeah.
once I had my kids, it was like, well, this is a good way for me to de-stress and stay in
Yes.
shape. And then the more I did it, the more I was like, I really forgot how much I enjoyed it. And then started doing races and then got into longer stuff. And so my first ultra I did when my youngest, she's 11. So it was right around her first birthday. She's almost 12. So 11, 10, 11 years ago. So,
Nice.
yeah.
So, how many hours would you say you train, all inclusive, whether it be weights, running, cycling? What's your total average week in total training time?
It depends on the time of year. I mean, if I'm training for a race, I think I peaked out at 70 miles, but I was doing for my race in May, but I was doing 2 weight training sessions a week. I wasn't riding at all. I didn't really ride much. But since I raced the end of June, since then I've tapered back a lot with like my running and riding, and I've been lifting a lot more. And so now that cross country is pulling back up, I'm running more, and I cut out like 1 day a week of lifting. My husband and I are doing a gravel ride in a few weeks, so I've been riding a little bit more. But before that, the race in May, I'd say I was probably 13 hours, 12 hours, like in that neighborhood. It was a lot.
Yeah, sounds like it. But you need to do that, right? Don't you? Isn't that all?
Yeah, I mean, I'm older, so I'm 47, so I can't get away with not weight training, especially doing something really long.
Okay.
So that's, important to me to keep in there. And then once the racing was over, I felt like I needed to ramp that up a little bit just to kind of, build back some muscle. And then I knew I would start running more once cross country season started. So we're kind of switching gears that way. But I'm still not doing the hours I was doing then,
Mm-hmm.
So it
So,
all goes in waves throughout the year.
so what would you say, like, where's the drive come from to do the ultras? Like, why ultras? Why not something else?
Like something shorter?
Like, or like Spartans or cycling
Oh,
or swimming or whatever. Why
yeah, I don't,
ultras? What draw?
I've never really been interested in the obstacle course stuff. It doesn't interest me. I'm a horrible swimmer, like terrible. So that's totally out for me. But I don't know. I feel like when I run on trails, it's just I feel like at home there. It just feels really comfortable to me. I like exploring new places, and that's why the races are fun, because a lot of times it's like places I wouldn't maybe always get to go. And so, you spend all this time preparing, and that's really the journey, right? I mean, that's like the meat of it.
Yeah.
But the race itself is like the reward. You get to go out and see this awesome place, and you meet people. And when you're running an ultra, you're not running full bore, so you can have conversations with people, you can meet people, you get to hear their stories. And I don't know, it's just fun to connect with people that way. And it's like a whole day long adventure. You're not just out there for a couple hours or whatever. You feel like you get to spend your entire day on a adventure that you wouldn't normally get to experience. So I don't know. I think that's a lot of what draws it back for me, you know. And I enjoy cycling too. So when my husband and I go and do some of these gravel events, it's the same kind of thing. It's like it's the whole adventure of the day that we get to spend together, you know. So then the drive is, that's so fun that you keep your training up because you want to be able to go out and do those things.
Right.
But
Right.
Now, do you guys stay together on these rides, or do you compete against each other?
no,
Or?
we're not competing at all. We ride together. It's just for fun.
Yeah.
We always joke
Nice.
around that we're slower together because I ride uphill faster than he does, and he rides downhill faster than I do. So we're always waiting for each other. So it's well, if we'd just gone out and ridden separately, we would have got done a lot faster. But
That's funny.
That's fun though.
Yeah.
Now, Deb, when we worked together, I think I recall you running in minimal shoes. Is that still the case?
I run in zero drop shoes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
They're not always minimal because when I'm running like long distances, I need a lot of times a little bit more cushion and a rock plate.
Yeah.
But I do run in zero drop, and then I wear minimal shoes to work a lot just because I feel like it keeps my feet stronger.
What type of shoes? Like, what brand are you wearing to work?
To work? I have Merrells that are like, I don't know what the model is, but they're Merrells. And then I'll wear my old road shoes, which are less cushioned than like my trail shoes are. So, and those are ultras.
Yeah. How about super shoes? You try those at all?
Mm-mm. I'm not a super shoe kind of gal.
We got to get rid of these super shoes. Forget it.
I don't know. I have like my brands and my, I have like my shoes that I like, and I don't like to deviate from them a whole lot.
So what's your like number one brand? What do you tend to buy?
I buy Topos, and ultras, but I've been buying more Topos more recently just because I found a model of their road shoe that I really, really like. So I've been buying that. And I have 3 of the same pair of their one trail shoe because it's like I just keep buying it because I like it, and I'm like, well, what if they stop making it or they change it? So I just buy it again. So
there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
My wife all the time is like, "Where'd these red ones come from?" I was like, "Oh, I've had those.
I've had those.
Oh, it's been there for years.
You buy the same color, and then nobody knows they're not. That they're new.
That's a good idea.
You end up just collecting more and more though over the years.
Yeah.
Oh, so many.
And then there's always a reason though. You're like, well, that one's I use for this, and that one for that, and that one's pretty good. It's not great, but I don't want to get rid of it.
Yep.
For the rain, because I don't care about it.
Yeah.
And then you mow the grass in them.
Then you mow the grass in them.
Weed whack in them.
Destroy them.
No.
Paint in them. I had a pair of Adidas Cold Ready, like the ones you wear like when it's like snowing and stuff.
Yeah.
And those things are like so resilient that I don't get much use out of them because it only snows so much that I was like doing like work on my basement with them. I was like, I got to use these more often. So I was like painting in them, and I was like doing drywall and all kinds of stuff.
Why won't these shoes die?
Yeah, they just keep working.
I need a new pair.
I stepped on a nail, and the thing just like the hole just closed up. I couldn't even figure out where the nail went through. I was like, these are amazing. I don't understand. Like 20 years down the road, so we'll be wearing the same thing.
Probably. So what are you training for after the gravel ride, Deb?
I don't have anything else on the calendar right now. Just working through cross country season.
Nice.
Yeah.
Are you coaching?
I'm like a parent volunteer coach, so it's my 3rd year helping out, and I love it. My oldest ran last year and the year before, but he's graduated, and my youngest is in 6th grade this year, so she won't be running till next year, but it's just fun. I like it.
Sure.
Nice.
So
you guys be at Cliff Robbins again this year?
Oh yeah, that's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah. We'll be there. I don't know about him, but
I'm everywhere. Deb, I was going to say, what's your advice to people that are getting into marathons, half marathons, just running in general? Like, what's some advice that you'd throw out there for people that are new to the sport?
I think that you just have to be patient with it and not put too many expectations on yourself to where then you want to give up on it. So it's easy to start out and be really gung-ho, and then when you start getting like fatigue and sore and you're like, forget it, I can't, this running's not for me. But I think a lot of times people try to run too fast, too many days a week. It's like you gotta slow down, just ease into it, and hard days hard, easy days easy, and give yourself some grace. If you miss a day, it's not the end of the world. I think sometimes people are just like, forget it,
Yeah.
But just don't give up on it too easy. I remember my son saying to me, like, when did you start to love it? Because he's like, a lot of times I just hate it. I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
know. So I said, some days I still hate it,
Yeah.
but
Uh,
it's just a non-negotiable.
it's,
I just do it. It's just part of
I,
the day.
I feel like a lot of people kind of circle back to it.
Yeah.
Even if they ran for years, they kind of leave and then come back and then kind of make it part of their life again. And
Hmm.
I think once you make it part of your life, it doesn't really go away. So, like, I even know
Right.
people that they can't run or they don't run anymore, but they still talk about it. Like, I almost
Yeah.
can't see them for a visit or whatever without them talking about it, or run into them without them telling me something about how they're running or they're not running or they wish they could run. And
Yeah.
it just kind of melts in there. I have patients that you would never know they were runners. They're like, I used to run marathons. And it's like the first time I'm meeting them, but it just comes
Yeah.
up randomly.
Yeah.
So I definitely think it's part of that existence.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
you.
especially when you have so many like meaningful experiences that surround that, like the kids with cross country. And, I was thinking about that today and about how, like, these are memories that they're making that whether they keep running or not, I want them to be able to look back and be like, that was some of the most fun that I had during school, and if they associate that with running, that's great. And hopefully they'll circle back to it like later in life. But it's just neat to be a part of something where you see these kids making these relationships and having these memories made that are going to stick with them forever. But I do think that's part of why people then, like, they come back to it and they want to talk about it, and it's almost like, woven into the fabric of their themselves as a person, because they have so many experiences and adventures and things that go along with it. It's not
Yeah.
just a hobby.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think you alluded to this a little bit too. Like a friend of mine and I talk about it all the time. You almost have to lose it and find it
Yeah.
again, and then you're like, it's back. And um, we talk all the time that we've run for so long, but some of the closest friends we have and some of the closest relationships we still have, we're all forged in that cross country style
Right.
team.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah. But it's cool to see that with the kids, because
Yeah,
what's happening.
yeah,
Like, from as an outsider looking in, like, you can see that happening,
yeah,
and then it like takes you back to when you were in that position, and it's like, wow, that's so cool that you get to. They don't even know that it's
yeah, yeah.
you
They don't
know.
know yet.
Yeah.
They don't know yet that in 20 years they're going to go to their high school and start coaching, and then every meet they go to, they're going to run into the same people they ran with that
Yep.
are also coaching.
Right. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's wild.
Yeah, I would have to say, like, when the first time that I went to a cross country practice, like first week preseason, whatever it was, I think it was preseason in high school. The team was just really fun. Like, the guys were
Mhm.
fun, and the guys and girls mixed together, and it was fun. Like, just talking with everybody, and how there wasn't this like animosity that you'd get in other sports. Like, when you'd
Right.
step out on a field, all of a sudden you'd be like looked at, like, some guys would be like your friend, and then guys that played your position be looking at you like, who's this guy? Is he good? Is he better than me? Like, what's going on here? And you didn't have that. There was none of that. Even though you were competing against each other, everybody was pretty cool with it.
Yeah.
Um, so I enjoyed that aspect a lot. Plus, then you do get to compete regularly, but it's just like there's no am I better than this person? Are they better than me? It was just you knew, like, what was your time today? Oh yeah,
Right.
you're better than
Yeah.
me.
Yeah,
You're way better than me. What was your time? What? Especially when you first start, because no one's ever usually the best when they first start.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I do remember the first time. I think I probably told this story before though. The first time that I saw Wolfman run, we were in preseason at college, and I came back from vacation, so I was actually like a day late. And I knew some of the guys, I ran against them or I talked to them or knew them from some other place. And I remember I was in the middle of the run and we were running, I think by like a local high school. And I said, Wolfman was wearing all black. It's summer. He's wearing all black, and it's super hot. And everyone else is like, shirtless and trying to cool off. And this dude's wearing complete black, like head to toe. And he's up with like the leaders. He's like with the leading pack. And I go, who's that guy? It looks like he's from like a rock concert. Like, why is he wearing all black? And is he going to hold that pace? That's a pretty quick pace. They're like, oh, yeah, he's really good. And I'm like, well, why is he wearing all black like that on a hot day? They're like, I don't know. That's just what he wears, man. And I was just like, I was like, it was weird, but I was just drew my attention to Wolfman. I'm like, he's intense. This guy's intense.
He didn't know you very well, did he?
What's that?
He didn't know you very well, did he?
No,
I didn't. I didn't know any. I knew some of the older guys. I knew like one or two freshmen, I think, but we were all freshmen. And Wolfman was running with like the juniors and seniors, the guys that were like known in the area to be good runners. Like Wattis, you were probably up with Wattis and a couple other guys. And I was just like, he's cooking, man. And I'm just trying to get used to running the longer distances because we jumped up from, I hadn't run a 5K, like actually on a team since my freshman year of high school. So I was like, I got to jump up to like 5 miles. And this guy's running like my race pace probably in practice.
Those were the days. I don't cook like that anymore.
I hope not. That would be hurting.
Yeah.
It is interesting though how you get better and better over the years, Deb. I don't know if you've experienced that, but like, hey, like continue to progress up until a certain point where you're just getting PRs and doing better, and it feels better, and you could just run longer and farther, faster. I mean, obviously you've experienced that to some degree, at least because you run so many miles. You've had to experience that.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that depending on what you're focusing on too, it's like you get better in certain areas and you're like, oh wow, I kind of surprised myself. And then you realize you let something else. I mean, for me anyway, it's like maybe I get better at climbing for this season. And then it's like you start training for something a little flatter and you're like, okay, I'm getting my speed up a little bit. And then, it's like, but maybe I'm not climbing as well. So yeah, I've definitely experienced that even with the ultras, because depending on what you're training for, you can sometimes surprise yourself a little bit. Like I didn't think I would do that well, in that scenario. But I mean, I was never, even when I was in high school, I was never like the fastest kid on the team or anything like that. So, I was never like, oh, I really hope I win today, but I mean, I wasn't like the slowest, but I was definitely, I would say that as I got older and less people my age were running, and I did better.
It's interesting, but like even if you're the best, right? Like let's say you're a gold medalist, like you only have that for so long.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Like even in like watching the Olympics, like it's weird because when you watch that, a lot of times the favorite doesn't win.
Yeah.
Right. Like they win all the time. How do they not win? It's one day. One day you're just not on, someone else is on.
Or you fall.
You don't feel good, whatever.
Yeah.
You just never know. I mean, it's like, can you imagine training 4 years for one event and you're favored to win and then you fall?
Yeah.
Like, what does that even feel like? It's just incredible to think
about. Feels like Prefontaine.
Yeah. I mean, it just blows my mind that happens to people, and then, mentally. I mean, but that's the thing with running is that so much more of it is mental than people, realize a lot of times. I think when you've been doing it a long time, you realize that. But, when you physically could be at your fastest, a lot of times people don't get that. And that keeps them from probably being as fast as they could be. Because by the time you're old enough to really understand that mental piece of it, your body's not quite where it was, when that knowledge could have helped you the most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it's tough. It's fun, but it's tough.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
running in a nutshell. And when you're really pushing pace, trying to hit certain times, it's weird because you might be able to run faster, and on paper, like calculated out,
Yeah.
you're probably quicker than you're running for a lot of folks. And you're doing something wrong, not purposefully, but you're doing something wrong, or you just don't realize what your potential is and how to get there. But on paper,
Right.
once again, you should be running faster, and you could run faster because you've shown that in your workouts or whatever. So it's pretty interesting.
But like with ultras, a lot of times I think that once people realize that their their brain is literally, I mean, it's the central governor, right? Their brain is literally telling their body, you need to stop before you hurt yourself, even though the body can keep going. So if
Right.
you can shut that down and say, no, I'm good, I can keep going, then you will get through any distance that you decide that you want to do. So, barring like a fall and breaking your femur or getting rhabdo or something, really and truly, it is your brain trying to protect your body.
Hmm.
And if you can say, no, I'm good, I'm just going to keep going, you can keep going. That's
Yeah.
why you don't need to run 75 miles before a 100 miler. You don't need to run, you don't have to run 23 miles before a marathon. A lot of people do, but nobody's out there running 75, 80 miles in preparation for a 100 miler unless they're doing like a race in preparation for it, because it's all like in your head. It's all mental. But it's the same thing with the shorter stuff too. Your brain is telling your body to stop. Your body is
Hmm.
not telling your body to stop
Right.
or slow down or whatever. So that day that you can't run what is you're projected to run, it has usually not very much to do with your body. It's like what's between your ears.
Yeah.
It's a good point, and I've found that, like, when have run my best times in whatever 1500, 5K, whatever it might be, a lot of times you have to get past that point where you think there's no way I'm holding this pace.
Right.
I might have to either stop completely or slow down at some point. But right now, in this, in the second mile or whatever of a 5K, I'm hitting this pace. I'm gonna hit the 2 mile in this time, and then I'm gonna figure out the last 1.1.
Right.
But right now, I'm hitting this regardless of if my leg doesn't hit the ground the next time I move it. I'm hitting this pace.
Right.
That's where you start to see real big jumps and experience some pretty unique things, because you're all of a sudden realizing what you can do and that you're actually have a lot more potential than where you were at. And for me,
Right.
the thing was that hit like I would say like my fifth year in college, and then after college was when I really started clicking into that, and then I stopped racing competitively, and that's when
Yeah.
I started hitting really nice times and things were getting easier, and I was training. The ironic thing was I was running less miles than in college, less workouts, less races, and then running better times, and I was like,
Yeah.
I just totally just broke open the whole running, racing world with something completely different than what we were training with for all those years. I
Yeah.
was just overworked in college a lot of times.
Yeah. Yeah. But once you got the confidence that you could take the next step, or that you needed to not think about it until you were at that point, that's when you started to progress. It's like, you know, it's the same thing with me with the longer stuff. You go aid station to aid station. You can't go like, oh, I have 80 miles left. No, you go like it's 5 miles to the next aid station. It's six
Hmm.
miles to the next aid station. So just like you were saying, you run the first 2 miles, and then you're like, okay, it's not the next, 1.1. It's the next 10 feet. It's the next 20 feet. And when you do that multiple times, then your brain starts to become confident. Like, okay, we've done this before. This is not new. We can do it.
Right.
So you can do more with less mileage
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
less
All right,
wear
I'm
and tear.
ready. I'm ready. Let's do this.
Go run your 10-miler.
Yeah.
Let's do a virtual, Wolfman. Let's do it now and get it over with.
Do it now. I'm still sore from yesterday.
Not my problem.
That's not your problem. No, I foolishly did tempo run, but with a lot of hills in it. So that was
double whammy.
My hammies are on fire.
You don't need those.
My legs felt like Jello today.
Oh.
And then you say to yourself, now why did you do that? I didn't have to do that.
I'm not running the 10-miler. Or maybe you are. I don't know.
I'm running it with him.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But I still didn't have to do that. Just worked out that way. Yeah.
It'd be good training. You'll be fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to have to run extra miles that day anyway.
Yeah, I haven't even looked that far ahead, but you're probably
me
right.
Neither. Yeah, me neither. Well, Deb, listen, you're doing a great job. Phenomenal that you're running 100 miles. I have trouble fathoming myself running 26.2 and then to, basically run 4 times that. It's pretty amazing stuff.
Yeah.
You got to be in a very low percentage of people in the world that even do that in their life. So,
well,
way to go.
It's been 8 years and I haven't done another one yet. So that tells you anything.
I don't think you have to.
Yeah, you did it once. I mean, my goodness.
It's like being even if you were like in a movie, like if you're an actress in a great movie, you don't technically have to be in another one ever.
That's right.
I can live off the royalties.
Quit right now and never run another step.
I don't know about that. Maybe dabble. No, but I mean, it's amazing. Like your training is amazing. The fact that you have kids and can do all that and have done all that. The fact that you're a physical therapist like we are and have done all that. I mean, it's great. I mean, if you wrote a book, I would definitely buy it. So if you're gonna do that, let me know.
I will let you know.
Sounds like a great read. And I also feel like we haven't even gotten into like much of your story. Like I have a lot more questions that unfortunately we're not going to get to tonight, but I would definitely love to talk to you again and ask some more questions.
Yeah, for sure.
I know Wolfman's over there. He's pondering all kinds of things because that's what he does.
That's what I do, yeah. That is. Where can people find you, Deb, if they want to? Or maybe you don't want them to.
No, I'm on Instagram. It's run.dirty.
Yeah, I've seen your Instagram. You got cool stuff on there. I do check that out. Yeah.
Cute.
I see the mountain bike ride and I'm like, that looks awesome. But I'm at work.
Yeah, I mean, so that race that I was training for in May, it was a 100-miler, and I've done the 50-mile before, but this was my first crack at the 100, and I got like just over halfway. I was like 58 miles or whatever, and I had to pull out. So we got home a little earlier than we thought from our trip because it was in Georgia, and so my husband and I went for a mountain bike ride, and he's just a really good videographer with a GoPro, so he makes things look a lot cooler than they probably really are.
We got to get some GoPros.
We should.
No, no, your videos look awesome. Your pictures look awesome. Like I said, I've seen them. And Wolfman didn't tell me you were going to be on the show. I didn't know who's being on the show, but then once I saw, I recognized it from your Instagram. Like I said, yeah, you have cool stuff on there. So yeah, thanks, Wolfman. I appreciate all that.
Hey, yeah. Sometimes you got to go with the punches, man.
There you go.
It worked out. But thanks so much for being on the show. Like I said, we really appreciate it.
It was fun.
Keep up with everything.
Yeah. Good luck with cross country season.
Yeah, you too. See you next Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah, next Saturday.
Like 2 days?
No. Next
No,
Saturday.
next Saturday.
The following Saturday.
Yeah.
Roger.
Who the hell's Roger?
I don't know, but everyone keeps talking about him.
Fun stuff, Deb. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Maverick and Wolfman running out. Almost forgot that part.